Hi, my name is Tyree Weekes-Haynes,
And I'm Royston Hoyte,
and we are,
the Hotstepper pepper sauce brand.
and we've been doing this since 2019. And today, we're interviewing with Chune In TV. Oh, he was not. He was not.
Yeah, I was very.
Yeah, that was like, you do nothing. I said, get that boy, How I was in school, really and truly, probably for the first half of my life, I was pretty shy and reserved. Up until, 16, 17, I started really coming into my personality, and I realized that, I'm just good at school.
Alright. For me, I would say I hated school with all my guts. But however, the school loved me so much they kept me back in full farm. But other than that, coming on to like my later time where I find out that, I have to, really focus in because this is actually my life, right? And I have to do something with it. That I started getting into agriculture and start taking school more seriously. So then started studying more.
I feel like mine was loser. I went too fast, clearly. That's actually an interesting question because it came on a random Friday during the summer, and one of my buddies just hit me up and said, "Yo, you want to do bartending?" And I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? And I would have went on every Monday after BCC, from 5 to about 7 or so. I just learned about the culture of bartending in general and the different spirits, how they mix together. I just kind of like fell in love with it, to a certain degree. I still have my first love, which is computer studies, though. But you know, that was a nice sight. Well, first of all, I'm a very uh, social butterfly. And for me, I just love the interaction and actually finding out what people like and how I could create that personality inside their drink, so to speak, and give that flavor pairing profile towards them. It's just playing. It's like chemistry. It's art, actually, that you could combine all the flavors and just come up with something so unique to that person, and that's what I loved about it.
What developed my interest in agriculture is that I truly, really, truly love my belly, right? And agriculture is just the foundation of all that. It is where food comes from. It's, in my opinion, the foundation of our whole economy. Everything comes from agriculture, and I thought that it was very stable and consistent era in which some people always need your skills, need food. So for me, when I was in school and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, I just know that for sure in that area, I would be needed and I would be able to provide for my family and myself in that aspect. And then that's where my love for agriculture come into play. Because I love food and I want to be able to provide for myself and my family. Okay. Well, in my early experience in agriculture, it was at the law school in which we were growing chickens, in the back of the school in the pen. And then now it came time to slaughter the chickens, right? So then we had to try to figure out what we can do with these chickens. And so what we did popcorn chicken, and then for my twist, which I didn't know was the early stages of what was coming to be, was a pineapple sauce to go with the popcorn chicken, and we saw that at Sports Day, right? And then that's where I was like, oh, agriculture isn't just grow chickens, kill them, and sell them. We could just do some agro processing as well, make food, and let people be happy with the food you're creating and provide a little twist and experience. Okay, well, in that case, I would say yes, because I, for some reason, I just kind of like fruity flavors and just sauces in general. So I guess that's just where it started to come from, but I didn't really thinking about that until just this interview. Honestly, like I didn't really think about that stuff until just now, but it really was something that was seeded back then that now gave fruit to this business, Hotstepper pepper sauce.
Foreshadowing.
Correct.
This actually came from a movie I watched when I think about 6 years old or so, and I can't remember his name, but it was this kid that he basically grew up and he was doing all sorts of things. He was doing mountain climbing, he was doing karate, cycling, science experiments, and all of these sort of things. And then when he grew up, now it turns out that his father or uncle was breeding him to become a super spy, right? And from there, I was like, damn, I want to do these things, And for me specifically, I like to think that I'm a general specialist, which means that I could translate to anything, except agriculture. But I just love it all, especially I think I like the art of it all. You might have listed, bartending, computer studies, yeah, all of those things. I also did boxing. I was on the Barbados boxing team for like 2017, 2018. Actually, Barbados best youth boxer as well. But yeah, I just love going out of my my box basically, and trying to learn and do different things. You might even see me do a bit more extra stuff. Who knows? I might become a politician one of these days. Or that, so yeah. That's interesting because this was kind of my idea, and I saw Royston here. Because one day when I was again at BCC again, I always wanted to do the $20 challenge, and we always heard about it during the large school, and at large school it would always be people that, I don't know, selling snacks and things, not really anything really diverse, so to speak. But when we learned about it at BCC, I was like, you know what, I want to do this. So I did what I normally do. I called Royston. Yo, Roy, you want to do $20 challenge? He said, as he did, laissez-faire, sure. Yeah, why not? And from there, we hadn't a clue what to do. So what we did is that, one, we was doing bartending at that time. Both of us, by the way, was doing bartending at that time. So it was like, you know what? Let's do something with we did cocktails like babies. And then he said, just in case, I got a cookie machine at home. Let's make cookie cups as well. And just in case those things don't work, I also got pineapple pepper sauce. You understand? And that was the thing that really stood out to people. Although that was the last thing that we had planned.
We literally did it the morning of the event, of our first event. Did it the morning of that.
Yes, please.
And that was the first thing we got.
Yeah, it was actually like the primary thing, because even the cookie cups we did chicken fillet.
I also don't really recall.
It was something to do with chicken, and we put the chicken inside the cookie cup and then lather it with pepper sauce, the pineapple pepper sauce. And for some reason, people loved it. For me, that's kind of disgusting. But but if that's what people like, that's what people like. So at least that's how it came to fruition, and the pepper sauce then became like the primary source of what we were doing, and flagship, and we actually won that year too.
Okay. Well, okay. To be honest, the feeling wasn't really as like, oh, we're so surprised. We said from day one we were going to win, right? So when we got told that we won, it was like, of course, right? So it was really a surprise to us, but it was a good experience, and that it was also a good feeling to know that our hard work actually paid off and it was acknowledged.
What word you want to use? Manifest, confidence, you name it. We just knew from the start, like, yo, we got this in the bag. And it's not that we're saying that about the competition in that year. It's just that we believed in ourselves so much that, yo, we got this. Only us could beat us, really and truly. And that's what we had in our minds. Even from the first events, where we got our quote unquote criticism about not interacting with customers, we were like, okay, bet. and the very, very next event, we interacted with almost everyone that passed. We walked with pepper sauce in hand to people outside of Popular, asking if they want to come and try, and just interacting in general, and made sure we got feedback from there. And that's how we did.
But I would also like to mention is that it didn't always flow so smoothly, like we just start off like we start off hot and we was going. We actually made a couple bumps in the manufacturing of the product. Yeah, for one fun fact, our balls were actually exploded in the judges when the judges bought.
Oh yeah.
They carried it home and it exploded because we didn't know that much about the making of pepper sauces, so then we had to learn about it. So even though we had our major setback that the judges themselves, it exploded, we still pushed forward because most people would have probably quit at that point. But what we did research. We learned how to properly sterilize and manufacture pepper sauces properly. We taught to food scientists that was at TC as well, use the resources that we had at hand, and then properly started to make the sauces. And then we take the people's advice. Like, for instance, when we did the pineapple, they were like, I wonder how tamarind would taste. I wonder how this other flavor would taste. And then we started to go from there. Then we get different flavors and we started to move. We took the criticism, we took the advice, and then we just, as you would say, manifest it. Like, got creative. Okay, for me, one of the biggest hurdles was balancing family responsibilities and especially school with business as well. Because time management is key to any business and being consistent, So you can't be like, oh, I can't deliver products or make products because I have an assignment due or anything. We had to still do it. It had to be up late nights, like very, very late nights, and make products.
We go back to early mornings. One of the biggest hurdles for me was the actual, because at that point in time we didn't have a vehicle. Okay.
Good point.
Okay. And one of the biggest hurdles for us was actually the transportation of goods. For example, right, in the earliest stages, we used to walk the highway to deliver product. Yeah. He lived in Highgall, I lived in Warrens, and we would meet each other like around Hotsteppers turning, and walk back the other way and then deliver it to a mall or anything like that. So I that was a task.
That was a real good point. Well, for me personally, I would want us to work ourselves out the business. That it doesn't depend on us to be manufacturing, delivering, and selling. But we have people doing it for us. We pay them employees basically to be able to do the things that we don't have to do, and then we could focus on something greater.
It actually got worse. Because then you okay, now you have, because when you got the inconvenience of moving on foot, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had a better time management when you moving on foot, because you got a certain time period to do certain things. Okay, you gotta go town, gotta get the van, come back, you gotta do this, that. When you have a car now, you're like, alright, cool, I could drive down there.
Yeah, I could left at 8:05 to get there at 8 o'clock. Right.
Yeah. So I guess it was like, instead of crawling to run. It went from crawling to waddling, and then came back to crawling again. You know, it does it to a certain degree. So you had to basically relearn time management in essence. But before we move off the topic of transportation, there was this funny story, right? Tell me if you remember this, Royston. Right? Is that I was delivering. I had to collect some product from my Royston, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna run the highway one day, and I ran it, you know. And I told Royston, yeah, you could meet me at XYZ, you know. And then as soon as I hit SkyMall, where he lives, he called me and asked me, yo, you left home yet? So I basically had to run the entire way to his house, and then he asked me, yo, you left home yet?
I left already, bro. Oh,
But yes, that is it for me. You don't remember that?
nope.
I remember that. I remember that for sure.
You got any?
I feel like there are a lot, but I just nothing comes to
I
mind.
think one that stands out to me was last year where me and Zach they went to Trinidad for a video with some nudge people. Nudge is like a organization which helps entrepreneurs. So like we were selected to do a video encouraging other entrepreneurs and youths about just doing well in entrepreneurship, just showcasing ourselves. And so we get to travel to Trinidad and actually do the video. And we thought that, yo, people overseas actually recognize us. And then again, they went to Jamaica later on that year doing Tech Beach, right? With the same Nudge organization. I think like that to me stands out to show, well, we could be international and people actually would want our products overseas and stuff like that.
Um, it's a bit more complicated than that. For example, you know, when I said earlier, like I like to figure out people's preferences and what they like and put that person into their drink. For example, in our cocktail line, we have three major lines, and all stem in different directions. For example, if you are more on the sweeter side and you like the wine cocktails, you know, I would recommend a sangria. You know, nice wine down, ain't too heavy on the palate. It's still giving that fruity sensation. I would recommend that for people who not that hardcore. And then there's the coconut rum punch, which is traditionally for more harder drinkers, but you know it's still not as straight up liquor. You know, it still has a certain unique dynamic to it. And then there's the in between people who like the flavor but still the strength of it, which would be the mango versus passion fruit, which is a stem off from our MVP pepper sauce, which is mango versus passion fruit, of course. So it really depends. But my hands up, personal favorite is mango versus passion fruit rum sour.
So similar to Terry, I would go with the mango and passion fruit pepper sauce to start with, right? Because it's in between level of heat, right? Because our flavors actually go from mild to hot, which would be the smoked pepper sauce being the hottest, pineapple being the mildest. But mango and passion fruit is right there in between, and it has the fruitiness and it has a level of spice that you can still enjoy. I would recommend that first, and then depending on the side you want to go with, whether milder or hotter, you can then transition to either side of the spectrum. Okay. Well, if you're interested in Hotstepper pepper sauce or Liquid Desires cocktails, you can find us at Liquid Desires _ 246 on Instagram or Hotstepper pepper sauce _ 246 on Instagram as well. And the same for Facebook.
Okay, cool. What would I say to these people? I like, you know, for me specifically, I would say just try some things. I'm one of those people that believe that, you know, gap years are important. A lot of people is gonna disagree with me on that one, but gap years are important because if you go through school straight from basically first round straight up to UE, just doing what you think you like, uh, you know, you might come out of UE with a degree that you don't really like. Let's be fair, you know, that happens a lot. You know, but I feel like when you take a gap year, I don't know if you want to work or if you want to do something else, you you kind of gain self yeah, basic self awareness, and you actually go in and see what you like from what you don't like, and I feel like that will help you in the long run in terms of that actually choosing a degree, or if you even actually want a degree, you know. And that was it. Just go and try different interests. For me, I realized that I won't say that. For me, I realized that my true passion, on quote unquote, would be inside the computer science field, and, and I won't start working towards that. Yeah, yes, I did take a gap year. We both did actually, but uh, for me, I feel like that's where I would go for, because a lot of people end up in jobs and field where they're basically unhappy. Let's be fair, and they're just doing it because they thought that's what they liked at 16, and trust me, what I liked at 16, I don't like now. So it, that's my word of advice.
We was talking about what then?
You don't gotta worry about what I'm talking about.
What you like at 16? Okay. So for me, um, I would say a quote that I kind of like is to be afraid and do it anyways, right? And this simply means, right, that for me, it simply means like sometimes making a change could be a bit scary, right? It could be heart pounding and everything, but sometimes if you really want it, you have to just bite the bullet and do it anyways. Because starting a business could be difficult. It could be scary. People will criticize you. You will be on the front lights, the spotlight, sorry, and people would just be, you know, trying to watch you, and you might be nervous and everything. But however, right, it could very much change your life. You could start something there, and it could be very impactful for you and the people around you as well. So be afraid and do it anyways. That's what I would say.
You a hot stepper, you will go get a pepper sauce to make your life better. Drip, drop. You can taste a lot, I gonna want a lot. You can taste a lot, I gonna want a lot. Boom, hot stepper, boy. I'm talking both.